So I'm going to give you a scenario, and you're going to theoretically lead the team on a map, notionally, to the objective. And you're going to give the action you're going to do, and then I'll give a reaction whenever one would happen. So if you look at the FTX area on the map, you see that UNSC logo. I'm going to do first squad. Okay, so you're the first squad. You're the squad leader for first squad. Okay. We know that there's enemy at the red diamond. They're stationary. We don't know how many it is, right? Your goal from the PL is, hey, I want you to conduct a movement to contact. So basically it just means move forward until you see the enemy and then report what you see. Okay, you just got that task. Everybody's looking at you. You're in your security posture. What do you tell your people? This is the boundary we're working in, and this is the known enemy location. But all you need to worry about is what you're telling your teams. Like, this is all verbal. You know what I mean? You just got to worry about what you're telling them to do to get from point A to point B. Okay, so now that we know we're going to move northwest, we're going to move in a squad line, and then we know that the enemy, if you see enemy, we're gonna. I think. What did you say? If you see enemy, what would you want them to do?
Hold fire, hold position.
Okay, so we'll immediately stop. We'll call it up. Right? Cool. So we're gonna go to phase 2 in this. So you've told them what they're gonna do. You told them what formation. You know where you need to be. Obviously, you're in the middle. You got your Alpha team on your left. You got your Bravo team on the right. I'm gonna move this little symbol to simulate like where you're at. Okay, so we're slowly moving forward. Slowly moving forward. All right, we're gonna stop here. This is gonna begin phase 2. So phase 2 is gonna start, if I can find the marker, at this location with a 2. Okay, so your Alpha team, one of your guys in your Alpha team says, hey, I see 2 enemy prone behind a tree right here. Obviously, you told them already, stop. So your current location is the first squad marker. You're still in that line. Now, you know it's only 2 enemy. We haven't reached the place necessarily that we want to go. So what would you take action and do?
I'd ask my team leaders if anyone in their teams has got suppressors. If I have, get them to open fire.
Okay, so from where you're at, you would verify maybe somebody's got eyes on both of them, which they just called it out, so that's a good assumption that they would see both of them. And then you would choose to engage right here, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me augment that real quick. To keep everybody alive or have a better chance. Now, it's only 2 guys. That's what we see, however, right? So you got to keep in mind, maybe we don't see the whole picture. So maybe the enemy wants you to see just 2 guys, and then you attack, and then it's like a whole squad, and you guys get wiped out. So what you need to do to be safe, but also lethal, I would recommend you commit to a flank attack. Okay, and that's pretty universal. I think everybody generally knows, but I'll explain it super quick. You would have one of your teams stay back. I would prefer, if your Alpha team saw them, I would say Alpha team, you guys are the base of fire, or you're going to hold still, keep eyes on those enemies. And then you and the Bravo team would commit to either a left or a right flank attack. That way, you've got somebody covering you while you move to the side. So let's say there is more dudes here. You know, maybe now you got some actual cover and you can bound through. So, which way would you want to attack if you do a flank?
This way. There's just more space, and this area here gets in the way.
Sure, totally fine. Okay, so we're gonna role play. All right, so you go grab your Bravo team. Hey, Bravo, I got enemies 100 meters to our front. We're gonna fucking flank on the left side. So I'm gonna role play. This whole first squad marker is now just you and Bravo. Alpha's still at the same marker. So you're bounding to the left of Alpha. Alpha's maintaining eyes. You get relatively parallel to the enemy. Okay, so this is your current position. Now, because you did that flank and you saw before you started shooting, you now have assessed that there are 6 guys there that Alpha team did not see. So from here, now this is where we get into like the whole orders, what you need to tell people to do, because you are worried about controlling your teams. Obviously, you got to shoot, but you're more worried about what am I telling Bravo team to do. So you're here, you're set, you've achieved the start point of what you want to do, which is the flank attack. What do you tell your Bravo team and your Alpha team to do?
I'd tell Alpha team to open fire first. That distracts the enemy, so they're all facing this way, and then open with their Bravo.
Okay, perfect. Exactly what you need to do. You wouldn't want to open up with these guys because that would show your hand early. So Alpha team starts opening up. They kill those 2 guys. It brings it down to 4 enemies. All right. Now at this point, since they've opened up for maybe, I don't know, let's say 20 seconds, they've been shooting at them. Would you commit to assaulting with your Bravo team now?
No, because Alpha's still firing, might get caught across.
Ah, okay. So you're wanting. So now Bravo shifts to the support by fire, and Alpha's moving up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's unique. I've never seen that before, but that could definitely work because you know that Alpha's approach is clear, right? U.S. Army doctrine will tell you that the flank element needs to be the one that moves through, but I like that idea because maybe their flank to the north is exposed, right? Maybe Bravo can shoot more guys while Alpha's moving up. Perfectly fine. It's a modified flank. You would definitely have to tell people this because a normal flank, if you say flank, they would think that the Bravo team and you need to push up. But no, I agree with that plan. And that would be something, if you know that in your head, you keep that in your arsenal, in your tactics, in your brain. I would tell them that before you even stepped off from here. Like, hey, we're going to move Bravo, but Bravo's going to shift to the base of fire, and then Alpha's going to move up. Because if I was your Alpha team leader and Bravo got over here, I would be waiting for you guys to push. But no, that makes sense. Okay, so let's do that. Bravo team and you are now opening up on the side of these dudes that you see. They get down to 2 people. So now there's only 2 enemies. I'll place another marker to simulate fucking Alpha team. I'll make it blue. All right, so Alpha's moving up. If I can actually grab it. All right, Alpha moves up. They are now moving basically into where you're shooting at with Bravo. What do you need to do? So Alpha is right at the cusp of where you and Bravo are still shooting at these bad guys. There's only 2 left. What do you tell Bravo and or Alpha? Perfect. So Bravo team confirms that they've ceased fire. You've ceased fire. Alpha team confirms, hey, we hear that you've ceased fire. Okay, so Alpha team's now moving up. They clear through, and now, boom, 0 enemies. They killed the last 2 guys. But on that attack, Alpha had 1 casualty. Okay? So they have 1 guy down. It's not the medic. The medic is with Alpha team. What do you do?
So medic's with Alpha team who just had a guy down, right?
Yes.
Right, okay. I'd ask them if they're walking wounded. If they are, tell them to pull back to their original position just before they're assaulted and have Bravo move in instead.
Okay. That is viable. But since it's only 1 dude that went down, you still have 2 people with guns, and your medic could still shoot worst case scenario. If the guy, let's say the guy is uncon totally, right? So that takes 2 people out of the fight. Now you're down to a 2-man fire team in Alpha. Instead of telling them all to fall back and losing the initiative that you've seized by killing these guys, I would recommend that you move your Bravo and yourself up to Alpha's position to bolster their security facing northwest. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to lose the audacity and the tempo. You know what I mean? Because if you fall them back, now you have seized ground, but then you have immediately lost the ground. Now you can still, what they say, control the ground with your Bravo team, but if you seize this ground, the enemy cannot even get to that ground, and you can put effects out even further than where you were. That make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So now I think we're at phase 4, basically. Your medic gets the guy back up. You're 100%. Okay, you've been sitting there for about, I'm going to say 3 minutes. Now, the enemy reinforcements have arrived. You have a 4-man team here, and then we're going to have a 4-man team here. So you're getting attacked from your front and your right. What do you tell your squad to do?
I tell Alpha squads to... Sorry, wrong thing. Tell Alpha squad to hold the left front side, and tell Bravo squad to concentrate on the right front side.
Okay, perfect. So you've dictated each team to have their own goal, right? So Alpha knows who they're killing, Bravo knows who they're killing. Okay, and you've committed to basically holding ground, right? You're not gonna give up that ground. Okay, so and then you can be wherever you need to be, right? You don't have to be with Alpha, you don't have to be with Bravo. You can be wherever you really want to be. I would just recommend, as a squad leader, keep in your mind if you go down, somebody needs to know where you're at. So I would attach yourself to either one of the teams. Up to you. Me personally, since Alpha just took a casualty, I would probably attach myself to Alpha, right? So you are now defending against these 2 teams making up an enemy squad. Okay, now we're going to get into a little bit more spicy territory here, okay? The enemy just called for fire near your position. So I'm going to place a red T. Okay. So they have, now we know, hey, the enemy's got a mortar and they're trying to rain in on your position. You've killed one person from each of the enemy teams at least, but they know your current location and they have a mortar and they're still pressing. What do you do? Okay. It is a way to do it, but let me tell you why it has a way higher risk, right? So now what you've effectively done is split your squad in half. Now, Bravo's acting essentially on their own, and you're attached to Alpha, and they also cannot mutually support each other. Now, if the enemy wanted, let's say they had even more people, if they wanted, they could go up to each one of your units piecemeal and take them both out. Or all they have to really do is take out one of your teams to then be able to get twice as many guys on the other team. What I would suggest is to keep your squad together. Is to keep them together. Now, you're right into getting the fuck off of wherever the arty is happening. You're not wrong in saying let's go parallel. Your task is to move forward. Falling back and then trying to reattack again would be a option, but it would be equally as difficult to push back into another AO, and it would give the enemy time to, go back into their previous position and get eyes on where you're coming from. So between the left and right side, which way would you want to go? Okay, so hey, you're taking that IDF, you realize you get an IDF, give me just a quick verbalization of what you would tell your squad.
Both teams move 50 meters east, hold position.
Okay, so 50 meters east. Okay, so they're going to move 50 meters east. And I'm not going to say you're wrong in doing 50 because it was just one mortar. Mortars can get a pretty good effect around like a 40-meter radius. If you had more room, obviously you would know, probably move a little bit further. But no, you're fine. So we're going to move 50 meters east. I'm going to bring your Bravo team and your Alpha with me. Okay, so now you're over here. This is your new location. Okay, I would just do an ace, right? So Salt, you already know who you're engaging. You know what the enemy is. You're just worried about what's y'all's status, and you don't have to say ace. You can verbalize it in any way that makes sense. Like if you work with people enough, like you can say, hey, how are you guys doing? And they'll just know. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm green on ammo, green on no casualties, and we're good to go on equipment. Good to go. Okay, so luckily for you, you moved quick enough before more already came in. Your last position just got hit by a full barrage of mortars. The mortars are probably cooling down or reloading. Now is your time to probably seize the initiative and push forward to close the gap between you and that enemy mortar before they can reload and fire again. Okay, we still killed those 3 enemies, but the team over here saw you move to the east, so they're now doing a frontal assault with about a 6-man group towards your squad. Now you still have the mortars to worry about, and you still have these guys to worry about. You know you need to move. What do you tell your guys to do?
I'd tell both squads to move directly north and then attack. Hang on, move north, then attack here. Staying out of this there because it's sighted. They know where to run to get the mortars there.
Right.
Just come around and face them one by one. Don't face it front.
Right, and I like that you said both teams. Because if you said one team, guess what that would have done? That would have kept Alpha or Bravo stationary and gave the mortars time to reload and just fucking start hitting them again. So we're going to role play on the map. You start moving as a squad. And in this scenario, yeah, people are going to get hit. Okay, you had some guys get hit. They had their walking wounded. But in that movement, you were able to attrit these guys down to 0. And these guys were 1, but they fell back. So these guys fell back. They're deleted off the map because we don't know what happened to them. So you moved relatively here, and then we did that flank like you were saying, and we're basically on top of where those last enemies were. Okay, this probably all happened within the span of like 30 seconds, by the way. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's micro timeline. We still have the overall objective to get to this area here, right? Throughout all of this, however, keep in mind, the PL's original orders were simply what? Your first priority is killing the enemy that's shooting at you, keeping your people alive, and then calling up to the PL. In a perfect world, you have enough time as a squad leader to do everything for your squad and then call things up. But this happened all within the span of probably like 5 minutes. Okay? So if they need something from you, they probably would have called like, hey, 1, I hear some gunfire. Are you guys doing okay? All you have to say is, hey, troops in contact, and say whatever size enemy force you're fighting. So you would have said, hey, troops in contact, 1 squad. And he would have been like, Roger, report up when you got some time to let me know what's going on. So right here, now that we've killed these guys and we're preparing for this little last assault, this would be the time where you want to report what happened in short form to the PL. So in your own words, what do you think, no wrong answer, what would you want to say to them?
Engaged one enemy squad, and mortars, neutralize enemy squad, take a position roughly 100 meters from, what's we call it? Fuck me. Words are not wording today.
Well, I'll throw some out there, right? You're pretty much right with the way you were saying it. You're on track. Yep. So you said, hey, we engaged and destroyed one enemy squad. Boom. Good to go on that. That's what I would want to know is like, what size force did you kill? Because maybe like if you only killed 2 guys, I'm not worried too much. But if it's a whole squad of enemies you killed, now I'm a little bit more worried as the PL. Maybe I need to flex another squad to help you out later. You don't have any casualties, so you didn't need to call that out. You're correct. Okay. And I think what you were kind of getting to was, hey, we're about to hit the actual objective you gave us, correct?
Objective, that's the word.
Yeah. So, hey, we're about to hit the objective. We're like 100 meters away. So you hit all the points I would want to hear. And luckily you didn't have any casualties, but I'm pretty confident if you had a casualty actively, you would have called that up because you know that. So now the mortar is like, let's just say the mortar's probably, you don't know this, but you're close enough to it where it can't really hit you because, I mean, you're pretty much right on top of it. So now you've got you've regained the initiative. You are on the attack. You don't have any casualties, but you don't have time to sit on a map and like whisper to each other like what we're going to do next. You just got to make the call. How are we going to seize that objective, that little tiny hill? There's a lot of different tactics you can use, and you can do a flank if you want. And hell, for speed, you can just do a frontal assault if you want. Frontal assault would just be out in the same formation you're in right now. Everybody just pushes in. And that's the fastest way to do it. It's the least safe, but it's the fastest way to seize the initiative now that you had that gunfight you had to get into that prolonged that engagement. Here, and you're not wrong. I'm going to go ahead and do it. But one thing just keep in mind, you're getting pretty deep into the enemy zone where we haven't done a full move through yet. We know that this is the objective, but there could be more enemy coming in from this way, right? So you're not wrong. We're going to keep doing what we did. Just keep in mind, now, since instead of going from the safe area of southwest to northwest, you've gotten into the point now where the enemy could push you from your right and your front. For learning sense, I'll just leave it be. Okay, so Bravo team's currently engaging that enemy QRF, but no worries, they're going to kill it. It's fine, but you just have your Bravo team that can't commit anymore. That is a call that you need to keep in your mind. Okay, is hey, we're attacking this objective, but all of a sudden there's somebody else coming from somewhere. Bravo calls out there's a fire team. You need to task your Bravo team to kill that, because if you just told them, hey, don't worry about it, that's a bad deal, right? You're going to get flanked hard. So your Bravo team's currently engaging these guys. You get to the hill, there's a mortar team there with 2 dudes. You kill both of them. Mission accomplished. Not yet, because you seized the hill, but your Bravo team still troops in contact. Now, before you tell any of Bravo anything what to do, you just accomplished the platoon leader's objective. What should you do?
Tell them that.
Exactly. You'd say, hey, 6, this is 1-1. We've seized the objective. And then you would probably add on a caveat of, hey, we're still troops in contact with one enemy fire team. We're doing fine. We're good. Like, you let it, because they're probably going to ask, like, do you need support? But if you want to be really high speed and let them know so they don't have to worry, say, hey, we got it. It's under control. Right? So at that point, your Bravo team kills those guys because they're all expert marksmen, and they all regroup at the objective. Now, last, you just seize the objective where your PL told you to go. You have no further orders from the PL as of right now, and you have nowhere to go. What should you do as the squad leader? Right. So, and here's another thing, a little pet peeve of mine. The whole entrenching tool thing, in most units and Fortnite, that is the right answer. But when we do trenches here, at least in ARMA, I make it to where the trenches are realistic, right? Like, you wouldn't just seize an objective and in 2 minutes you have a fucking fortress set up. So what I would recommend is they just find some natural terrain that's already around them, and then just go prone, and you're right, set up a defensive position, make it defensible, because there's probably going to be an enemy counterattack, and the PL is going to have to let the other squads do what they need to do before he can tell you what to do. So you hit it on the head, And the only thing I would add on to that probably is now that we've got some breathing room, right? Now's the time to do that full ACE report at the squad level. Because you don't necessarily have to tell the PL, hey, we're good on equipment and stuff. But you as the squad leader, you don't know how many rounds your alpha fired. You don't know how much medical they went through. You need to say, hey, give me an ACE report, Alpha and Bravo team. And then I'll give you a quandary, right? Alpha is like red on ammo. Bravo is like yellow. What should you do?
Disseminate the ammunition to.
Yes, exactly. Nail on the head. Because it's better to have two fire teams that can fight for a little while than one fire team and that can't at all, right? So perfect. That is from start to finish, like everything I would want you to know how to do as a squad leader in like typical open combat.